Hello Wolfpack, welcome back to another Bitcoin video. Today we have the CPI numbers releasing in about 29 or 30 hours from the time of this video. It's coming out at 8:30 a.m. on the 13th of July from New York time, whatever that is. I'm in Australia, I don't really know. And that would be at around 10:30 p.m. in Australia, or well, depending on where you are in Australia. That's the time. So around 30 hours from the current time, CPI numbers will be releasing. And, you know, look, we've discussed all of this. CPI comes in higher, right? The market's going to continue downwards. If CPI comes in lower, which would be a change in the atmosphere for the global economic market, the market might see some sort of relief. So what is this video? Why am I making this video? Well, this video is a final warning. I will not be doing another video until after the CPI numbers are released. I'm going to tell you why in a second. This is a final warning. Everything is preparing for a move on Bitcoin, and you should be very, very aware of that, and you should be looking at the charts, and I'm going to tell you how to act accordingly. Bitcoin had a symmetrical triangle formation. You could see it as a bearish pennant, but I'm just going to say it's a symmetrical triangle formation for now, because for all sakes of whatever the word is. If for all sakes of reason, it makes the same difference, right? There's no difference for symmetrical triangle or bearish pennant formation at this point in time because it's already broken to the upside. We've already seen the direction of the break. And at this point in time, what we've actually done is we've come back within the triangle formation. And now the top part of a triangle formation is acting as resistance. And so this whole structure here could be listed as a massive, massive fake out, which was probably driven by the fact that the market was indecisive of what's going to go on with the CPI numbers. And the market is very much pricing in the CPI numbers at the moment, right? Not pricing it in, but preparing for it. We've got the DXY pumping massively. In the last 3 days, it's gone from 103 to 108. Huge gains in the DXY. Bond yields are going crazy. That's for USAUD. What's this? Bond yields are going crazy to the upside. We've got the S&PX, which is the S&P 500, dumping further downwards here. And so, yeah, the market is pricing in, or not pricing in, but preparing for what's going to happen, preparing for the potential blood or the potential glory of the next 30 hours, right? I would say, and I would highly recommend, and this is what happens based on every single time the CPI releases, that you stay away from the market until those CPI numbers are released. And even when they are released, you stay away for a little bit because there's going to be some intense volatility that is not based on rational price action. So what evidence do we have to support there's going to be a big move, right? Because I think there is going to be a big move, or at least the start of a big move when those CPI numbers drop. I think that the market is heading sideways right now. It's going sideways because there's no reason for it to go anywhere right now. We're waiting for extra evidence. You have to remember that the entire reason the market has moved downwards in the first place is because for traditional markets, obviously the 4-year cycle is a thing, right? And the 4-year cycle topped out on Bitcoin. We've gone over that before. But one of the main reasons the market moved downwards in the first place is because the traditional markets started to tank. And so until those traditional markets start to reverse, there is really no proper reason to believe Bitcoin will reverse. And so we have no new evidence that isn't priced into the market regarding traditional markets right now. And so we're waiting. Much like we were here in June, we were waiting, we saw some interest rate hikes, we dropped down, right? We're waiting for the next piece of evidence, and that next piece of evidence is going to come from the CPI release, whether it be higher than 8.6%, in which case we'll probably go downwards, or whether it be lower than 8.6%, in which case we'll probably go upwards. If we go ahead and delete all of these drawings, let's delete everything, and just look purely at the Bollinger Bands, even removing the analysis that I just did there, you can see that the Bollinger Bands are tightening in a very similar fashion to what they did over here, right? So we dropped down, the Bollinger Bands tightened, we saw a big macro event, we saw another move, we've dropped down, the Bollinger Bands have tightened, we're seeing a big macro event tomorrow, and we'll probably see another move either the upside or the downside. If we see that move to the upside, right, based on what we have with the macro situation here, it would stand to reason that there would be a decent probability that Bitcoin would break back above the 200-week SMA and renew some sort of bullish trend, right? So if the CPI comes in lower than 8.6% tomorrow, there is a decent chance, and we'd have to look into it at the time, obviously, there is a decent chance that Bitcoin might reverse here. Okay, we're on major macro support, 7-year major macro support that's held on multiple occasions. We're below the 200-week SMA, and that's why this situation is so tense, right? Because not only are we compressing on the shorter-term time frame, on the Bollinger Bands, we're also on the macro time frame compressing. Because what's going to happen here is the 200-week SMA is going to compress against this macro support line, right? And we will see Bitcoin essentially crunch in the price action. It will have to make a move eventually, either up or down. So whether or not the CPI numbers affect that or not, I think they will. Eventually, some sort of macro event is going to or maybe even the 4-year cycle is going to trigger some sort of reversal or some sort of dump to the downside. So what do I think is going to happen on Bitcoin? Well, look, I can't make any predictions at this point in time because I don't know what CPI is. Once the CPI numbers release, I will be making a video very shortly after release of the numbers, and we can get into those kind of predictions. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you had me at gunpoint and you forced me to make a decision, I would say that Bitcoin needs to go down to around 11.5K to around 13.5K, and it needs to get there sometime in Q4. I personally do not think the market is going to bottom out until Q4, and for that reason, I would be surprised if CPI comes in lower than 8.6%. I think that inflation is still on the rise. I think it would be weird for inflation to be slowing down because the Federal Reserve is still raising interest rates. Not only are they raising them, but they're increasing the magnitude of the raise each time they raise them. So it would be very, 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 very strange for CPI to just come in lower out of nowhere, right? I think it would be a bit of a shock. Yeah, I think CPI is going to come in higher, and I think we ultimately have further down to go on the market, and I think we won't bottom out until Q4. But at the end of the day, we have to wait for the actual data to come out. That's speculation. The best thing about being a trader is that you don't really care about speculation. You care about reacting and adapting to situations, right? So it's not about my prediction. It's about reacting and adapting. Now, right now as well, one more thing I want to talk about is that Ethereum might be pointing to the direction of the CPI numbers already. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but Ethereum had an ascending wedge formation, and it currently is in the process of breaking into the downside. The CPI numbers tomorrow coming in higher might just accelerate that drop, and we will be going downwards towards 978 USD on Ethereum, or possibly even lower towards the $777 price support region. Ultimately, we can't really predict what's going to happen. If we had to guess, we'd say CPI is going to be higher and prices are going to go down lower. That's the guess, but let's wait and see. Thanks for watching, guys. Before we end the video, I'm going to look at a few things. I've been doing short and sweet updates here. Apologies for that. I know you guys like my longer videos. I've been very, very busy in my personal life recently. I'm just trying to get the bare minimum amount of information out, but also the most vital pieces of information. Now, I don't mind making short videos. I think it's nice and concise, and there's not too much rambling. So let's look at a few things before we end the video. I'll highly appreciate it if you stick around. First and foremost, we've got Wolves Crypto VIP. Go to my YouTube channel, click the join button, and you can gain access to Wolves Crypto VIP and Altcoin Trading Signal every second day if you want more access to content. That's actually going to make you money as well because it's trading signals. Prioritised reply to my comments, a 2-hour video on market psychology, and occasional access to my TradingView charts. We use the BitGet exchange for Wolves Crypto VIP, and I encourage every single person in the Wolf Pack to use the BitGet exchange. Why? It's got half the fees of Binance. There's non-KYC. That should be all you need to really know about it. Very, very cheap exchange, non-KYC, good for tax reasons, good for all sort of reasons as well, because it means you can avoid government regulation on cryptocurrency at absolutely no legal risk at all. I highly recommend BitGet. Sign up using my referral link in the description below to gain access to a reward system with up to $4,000 in rewards. And then lastly, we've got the Crypto Academy, Become a Trader course, a 10-unit course on how to trade cryptocurrency. And honestly, it's not really 100% cryptocurrency based. It's actually based on all markets, all charts. It is focused on crypto, but realistically, you can take the knowledge you learn from this and apply it to any sort of chart, whether it be stocks, Forex, whatever. It's going to teach you what money is, what crypto is, and then all the way through to how to find trades, advanced risk management, market psychology, what are these patterns, what is that formation, etc., etc. Everything you need to know here. Go ahead and chuck us an email here at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with a payment information pamphlet and also a video explaining the course and going through what it actually looks like so you can take a look for yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. Final warning, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.